Hi guys, present me button in here again real quick. But I wanted to say something real quick about this video. I really like it. I learned a bunch. I'm really glad I did this one. I mean, I learned more than probably you will. Um, so, but it is a bit repetitious and could be a little bit boring at times. But I wanted to let you know that I do it multiple times, but I also do it multiple different ways. So I hate to see the first time I do it and then realize there's still 30 minutes left and be like, I don't want to see him do this for the next 30 minutes, like over and over. I do it two different ways, and the first time I just do it twice, and then the third time is a more accurate way to do it and way to get more accurate. And that's the part that I really, really think is good stuff. Um, I mean, all of it's good stuff, but you know. So really stick around and watch. And I'm not saying that for views. I'm saying that because I really hate for you to miss the accurate part because you gave up on me. And look in the description. I'm gonna try my hand at the little chapter marks. I don't know how that works, but I'm gonna try. Make jumping a little bit easier for, you know, if you want to come back to it later or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna finish editing now so I can get this one up in the YouTubers. Hi everybody, welcome to Beer, Wine, and Shine. Today is going to be a quick video about proofing your liquor, the formula that I use, and why I use it, when I use it. Now I'm going to use 190 proof Everclear today. This is just for demonstration purposes. I didn't want to proof down my good liquor. Plus this goes a lot higher, so I can do a lot different increments here. And by the way, this 190 proof liquor, it's in a plastic bottle. That's for all you plastic haters out there. I do want to take a second to tell you something. Now, this formula does work. However, there's a weird thing that happens when you take liquor and add it with water. Okay, if you have something that's 100 proof and you're wanting to take it 50 proof, that's cutting it in half, right? So you would think 1 part liquor, 1 part water. Right? If you got 1 cup of 100 proof liquor, 1 cup of water, you mix them together, you should have 50 proof, right? But you don't. It'll be off by just a little bit. Okay. Now the reason it's going to be off is because the viscosity of water it's the viscosity or it's something else. But anyway, when water and liquor mix, it just doesn't come out like that. So just don't be surprised when you take equal parts and you mix it together and it's not perfect. Okay? So this formula, I think, works kind of off of a perfect scale. So it might be a little off, and the farther the jump, the more off it's probably going to get. But it's not by much. Okay? Good enough or close enough is good enough for the girls I go with. Okay? Ain't nobody going to know if you're 2% off. Ain't nobody going to know. You ain't going to be able to taste 2%. There are other formulas. I've seen the box method. Still in the Clear. He's done that on his channel a couple times. I don't understand it. I can't really wrap my mind around it for some reason. Not to knock his formula at all. I'm, not meaning any disrespect. I'm just saying that there are other formulas. Some of them are going to be more accurate than others. This is just my formula because I find it very easy. I can do it very quick, and I've memorized it. Like, it's one formula, and I've memorized it. Original divided by target times volume minus volume. That's the formula. And it's easy for my little pea brain to remember. And it's close enough. Now, when do I use this formula? I use this formula for one, if you have a large batch, and by large to me is, if I've got a gallon or 2 gallons and I want to proof it down, I'll use this formula to know how much of water I need to add to proof it down and get it close. And then I will dial it in by adding, 1 quart at a time or 1 pint at a time or whatever until I get it at the right number that I want. I use this formula to get it real close, real fast. The main reason I use this formula is if I'm using something with sugar in it. Once you have a sugar, your Proof and Trails hydrometer won't read it. It will be off. It won't read it. Especially if you're only dropping it a couple proof, it's not going to be off hardly at all. So if you're only dropping it 10 proof or 20 proof, what are you going to be off? A point? But if you have sugar in something and you're wanting to back sweeten, but it's 120 proof and you want it at 100 proof, you can use this formula to get it there. Okay? And now you know the formula works. You can trust that whenever you're putting sugary water or whatever you're using in your liquor is going to be the right proof at the end. Okay? Or at least close enough that you're never going to taste a difference. Basically, we're just going to do 1 cup. So, first thing I'm going to do is check it. Now that I got the right thing here. Ooh, that went all the way down. I should probably quit doing that. Just to make sure that they're not ripping us off at the store. This is reading 192. Oh yeah, this is reading 192. And that's good to know though, also, because I'm going to use the number that this is reading and not what's on the bottle. They can be a certain percentage off, still call it what it is. Or at least I know they can in wine. I think it's 2%. That's off by it's 192 proof. But I'm going to use the number that I got off the reading off this and not what's on the bottle, because if I put what's on the bottle, then when I do my formula, it's going to read off. You know what I mean? Because this is reading different than what's on the bottle. Does that make sense? So we're going to call it 192 proof. I want to take it down to, we'll start with 160. Okay. So what's my formula? Now, the formula for proofing down liquor that I use is original proof divided by desired proof multiplied by starting volume, subtract starting volume. And that will give you the amount of water or back sweetener or whatever that you want to use to make it the right proof. So this is 192 proof. I'm going to divide 192 by 160 because that's what I want to take it down to. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter if you use gallons, cups, ounces, milliliters, entire metric crap ton. It doesn't matter. As long as you use the same measurement across the board. So you can't start with cups and end with milliliters. It doesn't work that way. Same way with your proof. It doesn't matter if you do percent volume or volume percent or proof. Okay? As long as you use proof the entire time or percent the entire time. Okay? This time we're using proof. So I got 250 milliliters here. We're going to use milliliters. So 192 divided by 160. 160 is our target. Times 250 milliliters minus 250 milliliters equals 50 milliliters. I got a little 20 milliliter thingamabobber here. I'm just going to use it. I find this thing to be pretty accurate. I could just try to hit the mark there, but this thing here is so easy. I put 20 milliliters in there, and then I put 10 milliliters in there. That's only 30. That's not 50. $160. And actually, it was 162 proof. You want me to do it one more time? I can do it one more time, just to show you. Let's take it down to, okay, I'm going to take it down to 100 proof, and then I'm going to stop. I'm just going to do it one more time. That big of a jump was going to have to, I was going to have to go get a half-gallon jar, and I don't want to do all that. So 160 divided by 100 minus 300 milliliters. Nope, I just messed up. 160 proof divided by 100 proof is our target times 300 milliliters minus 300 milliliters is 180 milliliters. Okay, so I've got 300 milliliters here. I'm just going to throw in 100 milliliters there. Other than there being a whole lot of air bubbles in here. I mean, this really is just demonstration purposes. See, I mean, it's off a little bit. 105 proof. That's reading at 105. But I went from 160 to 100. And it only went down. It's only off by 5 proof. Is it absolutely perfect? No. I mean, I do this formula because it's easy. It's simple. My little pea brain can grasp it. It's one formula. All right, guys. So what happens if you want to be a little more accurate? Okay. So this will get you close. This is fairly okay, fairly accurate. However, as I've demonstrated, it does have some inaccuracies because of what happens when you add alcohol to water. It's not perfect. This works on a perfect scale. I do believe. So if you're just trying to drop it a few proof, like if you're back sweetening a wine or if you're back sweetening a liquor and you're just dropping it a few points, and by points I mean percentage or proof. I just call it points for some reason because I'm weird, but that's what I'm referring to, like proof points or percentage points. So if you're just dropping it by a few points, it really doesn't, like, this is gonna work. Like, that's fine. However, if you've got something that's 160 proof and you're wanting to bring it all the way down to 80 proof, if you're just putting water in it, that's fine. You can use the formula. That'll get you, it'll probably end up being about 85 or 90 proof, but that'll get you really close. And then you could, add a little bit here and there, and do 100 different hydrometer tests if you want to get it right on 80. Fine tune it, okay? However, if you're wanting to add something with sugar in it to back sweeten it all the way down, right? You're not going to be as accurate as you want. Not with that big of a jump. The bigger the jump, the more off it gets. So what if you want it to be more accurate? Once it has sugar in it, you can't test it. So that's what I'm doing here. We're testing. And I do believe I've got a way to get this more accurate, or even almost spot on. It's not going to be quite 100% like, I mean, nothing's perfect, okay? I mean, if you're going to argue over a 0.5% or 1%, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. In my opinion, you're probably in the wrong hobby, but, whatever. So, I've got 100 milliliters here. Still got a little bit of the original Everclear here. Now, I measured it, it was 192. We're going to measure it again. I don't think it's going to be enough. I thought 100 milliliters. I think it's 200 milliliters. Ooh. Why? Basically, right now, all I'm doing is measuring how much I have. Because you really do need to have an accurate measurement of your volume. I'm hoping that I have enough. It's 46. She's floating. It don't have to float by much. It's just got to float. And it's floating. 192. So 190 proof Everclear. It's reading off at 192. However, I do need to remember how much actual alcohol I have, right? So I put in 100 milliliters, and then I put in 2 of these, which is 20, so that's 40, plus 6. The line was at 6. So that is 146 milliliters. We got to remember that. My target. For simplicity reasons, I'm going to take it down to 100. I thought about going 80, but it might make the math in my head a little bit. I'd have to use a calculator a little bit more than I want to on a video. So for simplicity reasons of the video, we'll go down to 100. That's a 92 proof drop in one shot. That's the biggest jump I've ever made. And I'm going to try to land exactly on 100 using this formula. I'm going to show you how to be more accurate using the same formula. There's just one extra step. It may not exactly land, but if it lands on 102, I'm going to be tickled freaking pink. Now we got to do a little bit of thinking. So as I showed earlier, I was losing 2 proof points per 30 proof drop. And by loss, what I mean is that instead of dropping it the 30 proof, which I want it to, it's only dropping it 28 proof. So I'm reading 2 proof points higher than what I should for every 30 proof drop. So we need to add that in, okay? So this is 192 proof. I'm dropping it 100 proof to 100 proof. It's a 92 proof drop. How many times do we drop 30 proof? So 30 goes into 90 3 times. So then you take your 2 proof points that you lose and you times that by 3, right? Because you need it 3 times. So that's 6. 2, 4, 6, right? So if I drop this from 190 down to 100, I can expect my gravity or my reading to not actually read 100, but I can expect it to read 106, right? Now this is 192 proof, not 190, so you got to add that extra 2 points. So that's 8, okay? If I add in exactly 134.32 of water to this right here, and I take a reading, it is going to read 108 proof and not 100. Okay, that's how much it's off. In a 92 proof drop, that's quite a bit. Okay, so now all we have to do, this is the simple part, it's simple. All you have to do is take 8 from 100. Okay? 8 from 100 is 92. Now don't let that confuse you that this is 192 proof and my new target gravity is going to be 92. It just happened to work out that way. You don't just drop the 100. I don't want that to confuse you. Okay? It just happened to work out that way. Because we want to tell it to drop 8 proof points farther than what it needs. Does that make sense? Okay, so now we're going to put that in the formula. Okay? We're going to use the target proof of being 92. We're hoping that it's actually going to end up being an actual gravity of 100, right? But for the formula's sake, we're going to say 92. So 192 proof divided by our new target of 92, okay, times the 146 milliliters minus the 146 milliliters. That's going to leave me with 158.69 and a crap load of numbers after that. Okay. That is just a little over 158 milliliters of water and a half milliliters of water. Okay. I am going to round that. I'm going to round that up to 159. And the reason I'm going to go up instead of down when I'm rounding is to compensate just a little bit more for the alcohol to water mixture. Okay? We're just going to see if that works out. It makes sense in my head. Doesn't mean it's right. It just makes sense. And I'm not going to try to get half a milliliter. No. We're going to work with whole numbers here, okay? All right. I got me a fresh thing of distilled water here. Okay, so I've got 100 milliliters in here. I need, okay, 159 milliliters of water, okay? We're gonna dump that right on in there. We're gonna give her a little shake. I'm gonna do this real time now, okay? Put a lot of air bubbles in that. Hope that don't throw my reading off too much. Nah, they're dissipating. Okay. On the button, dude. That's on the button. That's on the button. I'm gonna show you this. See that? You see that P right there? You see that P right down there by my pinky? That's 100 mark. The bottom of that P is 100 mark. Now, it is possible that that might be reading 99 proof. Maybe like 99 proof. Okay? So I could have took it down to 158 instead of up to 159 when I rounded it. But the proof is in the pudding, and there's the pudding right there. Okay? You can get this formula accurate as all living craptoids, okay? That is, I'm tickled pink. I'm happy. I mean, might as well take this piggy and put him in. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you learned as much as I did, and I hope that I explained it in a way that makes sense to you. I hope that you was able to grasp. It sounds more complicated than it is because I'm trying to explain it. It's really not that hard. It's really not. It's really not. Once you figure out how many points you're going to be off, you just subtract that from your target. You put that number in the formula instead of the actual target, and when it all said and done, it should be at your actual target. Yeah. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Beer, Wine, and Shine. That leaks. I made a big old mess. I bet there's supposed to be a gasket in there. I'm not very smart. You know what I did? Oh, I'm an idiot. There's no better place than the internet where everybody can show how kind of an idiot you are. Now that I put 30 milliliters in there, don't try this at home. You'll break your thing. If I was just doing this myself, I could have done this 10 times by now. Wow. It zoomed right on in there, didn't it? My titties out of the screen here. It's auto freaking focus. Got my wine here I've been drinking. Apple pie moonshine I'm drinking. I'm gonna get all this out of the shot. It's gonna make me look like some kind of an alky. It's getting closer to noon. She's a floater. I think I'm funny, don't I? And of course, no matter which way I lean, the thing will rotate around to the opposite side that I want it to be. I'm like, ah. So let's do that. We'll see if it works or if I'm just completely full of crap. I haven't actually tried this, just so you know.